I was in Afghanistan, in Herat, western Afghanistan, and I rode in late autumn over the Hindu Kush mountains to Kabul. It was a journey of about 20 or 25 days on horseback, very hard journey. And on one occasion, my horse lost a shoe. So I was obliged to go off my road to a village nearby and had the shoe replaced by a smith. It happened so that the governor, district governor there, learned of the visit of a foreigner and invited me to spend the evening and the night in his house. He was a very friendly man. At that time I spoke Persian fluently after nearly 2 years in Persia and in Afghanistan. So the conversation was easy. We were sitting after dinner and talking about various things, and naturally we came to talk about Islam. And I spoke quite bluntly to him. I told him, "You Muslims are a very strange people. You have the best ethical guidance possible in the Quran. You had the best guide in your Prophet Muhammad. How is it that you have abandoned the ways recommended in the Quran and by the Prophet and have fallen into such a decadence? Why are you acting in so many ways against the precepts of the Quran?" And so it went on discussing. At the end he looked at me and he said, "You are a Muslim." I was quite astonished and I said, "No, it never occurred to me to be a Muslim. I am not." He says, "Oh yes, you are a Muslim, only you don't know it. One day you will come to know it." And these were prophetic words. Later on, when I returned from that journey a few months later, I really became a Muslim.
Could you describe for us the actual event of your becoming a Muslim and how that took place?
Yes. After my return from my second long journey to the Muslim world, I was living in Berlin and started reading the Quran in translation. One day, I was discussing it, of course, often with my first wife, who was a German, older than me, and who was equally interested in Islam. And one day we were traveling in the underground in Berlin. And this was in the year 1926. It was a year of great prosperity in Central Europe after years of misery and inflation, and all people were well dressed, people who were in the underground train together with us, well dressed and well fed apparently, but it appeared to me that their faces were not happy. And I looked from one to the other and saw there is unhappiness in these people. They are oppressed. And I turned to my wife, who was, by the way, a painter and accustomed to observe faces, and I said, "What do you think of the faces of these people?" And she said, "They are unhappy." Same impression she had. When I came home, I could not explain to myself why it was, because, as I said, it was a prosperity year in Central Europe. I happened and to find an open copy of the German translation of the Quran on my desk, which I had left before going out. And I took it up, and the first which my eye came upon was a surah, Al-Hakum Takathuru, which in German is, you are obsessed by, I'm translating it now into English, you are obsessed by striving for more and more until you go down to your graves. Oh, you would, if you would but see it, and again, if you would see, and then you will see one day that you are in hell, and on that day you will be asked, what did you do with the boon of life? It came to my mind that this is the illustration of our present modern life. People are unsatisfied, wanting more and more material goods, and are unhappy, and they do not see that they are living in hell now. And God says in this verse, in this surah, one day you will see hell with the eye of certainty, and then you will be asked, what did you do with the boon of life? And I was so struck by it, by this coincidence of finding this surah as an explanation of what I had seen previously in the underground train. I told myself, how is it possible that a man living 1400 years ago had composed a book describing the situation of today, showing us what people feel now? No human being, not the greatest genius, could do such a thing, and especially not an Arab who was unlettered, who did not know anything beyond the confines of the Arab world. No, this book must be inspired, and inspired by whom? It is. Then I became certain that it was a revealed book.